This is Fantasy Footballaholics back at it again with the one and only mock draft for this year. I'm going to go to the back of the round 12, pick 12, and Dustin's actually joining me, Dustin Schneider, who might be on the channel next year, picking right ahead of me. And he's pretty much in the same as me on picking running backs, so it's kind of interesting little mock draft here we're going to do where both of us will be fighting for similar positions and similar players. Last few years in fantasy, me and him have kind of went over draft strategies, and last year we both went running back heavy like this year. And even though we both picked Henry in the third round on our separate sides of the divisions, we both ended up, even though we did pick a running back that played horrible and we actually cut before he started doing good, we both finished with winning records, and I went on to the championships, and he almost made it as well. So 12 teams, standard, one flex, just like always, two tight ends, or one tight end, two receivers, two running backs. Pick one off the board, and let's see who we got. How do you even look at this one? Sorry, I'm a little slow on. Pick one was Saquon Barkley. Still the same guy going, number one. After you watch my rankings, that's who I suggested picking. Elliott is pretty close in his negotiations, so he might be signing before this next week starts. So my pick draft's actually tomorrow. So hopefully he signs before the draft. If not, I'm probably just going to have to pass on him until this late second, early third. Pick two, this is only a minute selection, so it won't go too slow. Like I said in my selections, I'm looking at McCaffrey pick two, and they picked Kamara. So like I was also stating, Kamara, McCaffrey, 1, 2, 3, and there you go right away. No brainer for pick three, Christian McCaffrey. This is ESPN fantasy football draft with live players. It's pretty solid. The only downside to this, after the first and second rounds, then a lot of people go to auto. Pick four, Hopkins. He's slotted around 6. It's still a good pick, like people say. Hopkins and Adams are 1-2 receivers, so getting them in the first round is always a good thing if you're targeting receivers. Elliott, number 5. It's pretty much where I took him last rankings video. The Nieto is assuming that Elliott's going to be playing, so that's a good pick. Pick 6, David Johnson. I like Connor and Bell a little better than him, but like I said in my rankings video, he's one of the guys that I ranked together in that position. 1 second, I'm get some sheets. Just little tidbits if we do, just so we know where we're at. There goes Adams. Adams 7. I believe ADP is 6. I'm sure there's a way you can change that around. Le'Veon Bell 8th. So there's McCaffrey, Kamara, Barkley, Elliott, Johnson, Bell. So like I was saying, a lot of people running back heavy. Most people want to do that way, and nothing wrong with that. Still got Connor available, still got Chubb available, still got Mixon available, still got Cook available. And like I said from early on, you're going to go through the draft, first 2 rounds, and try to get 2 of those if possible. Michael Thomas and Julio Jones both just went, that means 4 of the first 6 receivers I have are already gone. So if my teammate did snipe some people, then there you go. So there, my friend Dustin just picked Todd Gurley. I had Gurley ranked 17. He picked him 11. I don't necessarily think that's a bad pick. I had Gurley in the second tier behind the next 2 guys, but if it's knee is healthy, he's definitely better than all those guys. So we'll go to running backs. We'll take two of them. Connor, like everyone knows, is my number one guy. And Nick Chubbs is right behind him. I was telling you guys last time in the rankings that Mixon and Cook are kind of the lower tier of my running backs. Nick Chubb started 9 games last year and was 10th in rushing. Shows you the ability, upside that he has. Adding Odell Beckham obviously is going to increase his numbers, so it's always good. And like I said, Connor was 6th in rushing last year, so I got two of the top 10 running backs last year. One didn't play 7 games, finished top 10. One didn't play 2 and finished top 6. After that, we went Joe Mixon, so he sniped the other running back that I got in the top pick. So Dalvin Cook would be the only one left. After him, Odell and Tyreek Hill both went, which stops the early round receivers, top 6 receivers. Then you got Kelsey going 18th. I had him in my rankings going 22nd. So it's a little bit high, but after all the receivers go and all the running backs but Dalvin Cook's gone, then looks like a solid pick. Team F. So he selected... I got 2 Team Fs. It's a little construed. He got Devontae Adams and then Travis Kelce. So no running backs the first 2 rounds. He's going to be in a lot of hurt. Wolfensberg got Cook, which is a good pick. Let's see who he picked last time. David Johnson. So he got David Johnson and Dalvin Cook. Getting 2 of the top running backs going back that far is really good. Antonio Brown going. He's in my 2nd tier of receivers, so it's a good pick. Well, 3rd tier after Evans and Juju, but Juju's there, so I would have picked Evans over that. Devontae Freeman, he's in my 2nd round running backs with Gurley and Carson, so it's a really solid pick. Derrick Henry, big reach, but everyone knows how he played at the end of the year, which was amazing. So, Bourgogne assumed that he's going to pick off where he left off, which is not a bad assumption. He also got Christian McCaffrey early, so he's going 2 running backs as well. Mike Evans goes at 23. I had Mike Evans going at 20, which I think is a steal here. Team Club also selected Kamara in the 1st round, so getting Kamara number 2 overall and getting Evans is very solid. There's another running back that I like well, which goes to Saquon's team, so he's got pretty high. Oh, and he goes Patrick Mahomes as well, so he gets best quarterback, best running back, and very solid receiver I target in the 4th round. Not to say that's a bad pick, because in my rankings, the only receivers I have higher than him would be... That's it. Adam Thielen. Keenan Allen, it's a little early. This is injury history for me. Kerryon Johnson, it's my next tier of running backs. Good pick. Chris Carson's still available, though, so I would have went Chris Carson instead of him. A little early on the tight end run. Someone might get excited here and pick Ertz as well. Looking with what we got left, we have Chris Carson still, and a bunch of 2nd tier running backs. Receivers wise, we have Julian Edelman. Adam Thielen's still a steal here. He's best receiver on the board. Ertz, the number 1 tight end on the board. And quarterbacks, we got all the guys. But as you know, even picking Mahomes the earliest a reach for me. I was saying 5th and 6th round for quarterbacks. So let's go with what we got. So Aaron Jones off the board is one of my next tier running backs. Still got Carson available. Cooper went off the board before Thielen. Jacobs, he's kind of my mid-3rd tier running back, so I'm not really sure of that pick, but he is a bell cow. Matt Ryan, 2nd quarterback. Marked him off behind Deshaun and Aaron Rodgers, but still a tier I believe could go either way, so it's really high to reach for him, but a good pick. Really good pick here in Reds. grabbed Chris Carson, who I love in the 3rd round, who's been taken sometimes in the 2nd round. Let's see who else he picked. Just curious. Risnick picked Tyreek Hill and Michael Thomas, so he definitely ran back and was lucky to get the guy that far. The other Team F, Leonard Fournette, second-tier running back list still going. And Mark Ingram goes to Schneider. Everyone knows here I love Mark Ingram. So I think that's a very good pick as well. Going to my list now, running backs. Let's see here. Got to stick to your list, remember that. Target Freeman and Carson all went. Kelsey went, Juju went, Mike went, Mark Ingram, Daniel Williams, Kerryon Johnson, Aaron Jones, Marlon Mack, Leonard Fournette, and Philip Lindsay. So I got Marlon Mack and Lindsay both available. And the receivers, I have Adam Thielen, but very tempted to go with him at running back. Or I can get Ertz in a tight end. You gotta stick with your guns, so I'll draft. Oh, I hit the wrong one, but that's okay. I'll go Edelman. And there is a fairly amount of solid running backs. Not really too big on these guys right here, and haven't really tried going double receivers in a while. So I think I will snag Thielen as well. A little reaching on receivers. Thielen's ranked 30th, who's right behind my running back group, and Julian Edelman's is right below the tier where I got Stephon and T.Y. Didn't mean to hit Julian Edelman, but he was in my next tier. I was thinking about picking Ertz anyway, so we'll see what 2 receivers, 2 running backs looks like. I have been going through running backs a lot, so since my draft is tomorrow, it's a good plan to try to skip running backs. There's a lot of running backs in that flex spot that I like. On my tier list, I got, not really in the Sony Michel yet, but there's still David Montgomery available, Marlon Mack, Philip Lindsay, so we can kind of queue these players up if you are using this, which is nice. Marlon Mack, Philip Lindsay. We'll go to the second tier here, just look at some players. Tevin Coleman, Miles Sanders, Gordon. We'll stick with the top few players first, though. Melvin Gordon. We got Tevin Coleman. And then you got Miles Sanders, James White. So I got a lot of options still available. Tight end, obviously, if Ertz falls to us, we're going to select him. If not, we're going to wait. Possibly Ingram. We'll see how things pan out. Receivers, upper tier receivers still left, besides the 2 that I picked already. Wouldn't mind having Stephon, but somebody's gone. Robert Woods, Tyler Lockett, gone. And you got Tyler Boyd. We still have T.Y., which is the guy I told you I was skeptical on, but I got Tyler Boyd, Calvin Ridley, and Mike Williams. So we'll just kind of play this out. Let's go back to the picks, kind of talk about them a little bit. So after Edelman and Thielen, Dustin's got Stephon Diggs. Diggs in the same spot as I took Edelman, so it's a good pick. If I didn't go that way, I would have picked Ertz or got a running back. But like I was saying, there's quite a few running backs in that 3rd tier that I was interested in. And actually, Damian Williams, who I had 24th on my board, I'm moving him out because of Shady McCoy getting traded there. Marlon Mack, it's tempted not to touch him as well. just because of Andrew Luck. We talked about that. After Stephon Diggs and Thielen, Kenny Galladay went another tier. Sonny Michel, one of the running backs I targeted. Tyler I talked about. Ertz I talked about. Woods I talked about. Montgomery, Hill, Coop, Gordon, and Mack. Gordon is, like I said, if you get him this late, that's okay. We'd have to go to his team and actually see how that panned out. So let's take a look at Team Club. Team Club selected. That went fast. So that's the auto picks going on up here. Auto. Calvin Ridley. We'll kind of go through this because I'm going to really catch up by then. Calvin Ridley went in the first round. Mike Williams, Philip Lindsay. I would love to steal him where I was picking next. Josh Gordon, Chris Godwin, Tyler Boyd. That's another guy. As you can see, my Q list already thinned out pretty well. I think Tevin Coleman's going to be my play here. Chris Godwin, Tyler Boyd, Alshon Jeffrey, Delaney Walker. That's a big reach for Delaney Walker. A lot of the tight ends must have went off the board because I'm not seeing them. O.J. Howard and Geis. So now my buddy Dustin Schneider's up. I really wish we could look at teams. Maybe just click them up here. There you go, Team Schneider. Schneider just picked Evan Ingram, tight end I was talking. Gurley, Mixon. So then you got Ingram to counteract Gurley. Goes with one solid receiver and a solid tight end. So he's going to be looking for a receiver on his way back, so we definitely need to get one of the ones we want. We'll look at running backs first, even though he doesn't need one. Tevin Coleman is on my board here, so I think I'll go with him. Starting running back with the Niners, see how he does in their offense. My friend's going to be getting a receiver, so click on my own team. Connor Chubb, Edelman, Thielen, Coleman. Might be a good place to get a quarterback here. Bunch of receivers, none I'm too happy for. Tempted to steal AJ Green, but when I can get Aaron Rodgers, which you guys listen to me talk about, very good to have one of these top tier quarterbacks. You got Watson, Matt Ryan, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. If you can get any of those going in the 6th round, you're good. I wouldn't doubt if my buddy took my advice and got Deshaun Jackson right now. So after that, you're dropping off. I did not mean to hit him as a Q. I'm still fighting on my flex position, which, well, I guess I got Coleman, never mind. So right now I got Rodgers, Connor Chubb, 2 super stud running backs, bell cows. I got Edelman and Thielen. Both can be low tier 1 receivers, Thielen a little more upside than Edelman. Coleman on the way back, good play, starting running back with the Niners. And it looks like Schneider is really, my buddy Dustin is really thinking about receiver quarterback. He's probably, if I was to guess, would go receiver, and there you go, Jarvis Landry. We both picked him in the past. Love him since his buddy Odell from the Giants went there. It should open up things for Landry even more. So he's probably happy with that selection. If I was going to go receiver, let's see who's still available. T.Y. Stephon, Julian gone, Keenan Allen gone, Robert Woods gone, Tyler A.J. Green there. So might have been a good place to try to go for A.J. Green, but Jarvis Landry, I have him at 66. The receivers I got at that spot, Mike Williams, Calvin Ridley, Cooper Kupp, are all gone. Alshon Jeffrey, gone. Robbie Anderson. So Robbie Anderson, Dante Pettis, Christian Kirk. Those type of guys I have. I have Anderson and Pettis slightly above him, but Landry's in that next tier receiver. So His three slots lower than the receiver I would have selected. Thought I'd make his selection. He probably was tempted on doing it. I mean, I could even message him. Hey, Dustin, were you debating Watson? I bet you he says yes. After his pick, let's go to the pick history. After Aaron Rodgers, he got Landry. Hunter Henry went off, one of the second-tier tight ends. They went to Deshaun Watson. Shady McCoy. I mean, Kansas City's still assuming they're going to go with Damian Williams, but it's a big assumption by Bob that they're not. Duke Johnson, I think that's a good pick right here. He's definitely going to be slated number one back. They did trade for Carlos Hyde this weekend, but Carlos Hyde hasn't been doing anything any team he goes to. I say he laughed at me and said, yeah. Figured why you took a while. Duke Johnson, James White. James White's a steal. There goes all my Q's, which you can figure. There's Damian Williams. Definitely, if I was Mooney, I'd be like, that's funny, Bob, but Damian's a starter there. Unless Damian has problems, he's going to keep the job, and McCoy's just the backup. Jared Cook, a little high reach. DJ Moore, not a fan of Carolina receivers, like I told you in my rankings video, but still a solid pick. Allen Robinson, he can get back to what he used to be. Great pick. There's Robbie Anderson. I think that's a steal for him in the 6th. Tariq Cohen, one of those solid flex running backs. Sammy Watkins, up and down, but can be great. Miles Sanders was one of my Qs. AJ Green in the 7th round, I would take that all day. I mean, I was probably about to add him to my Q. Kenyon Drake, not excited about that Dolphins offense, but he could be the check down for whatever quarterback plays, which I believe Fitzpatrick is named the starter. Cam Newton, that's risky quarterback. A lot of good ones on the board for him. Mayfield, solid. Wentz, solid. Eckler, and Dustin Snags, Buffalo's new guy. McCoy gone. Should be a very good pick. I still need a tight end, so it's kind of how I do things. You want to round out your lineup as much as you can. So I can get Njoku here. I like him slightly better than Vance for upside, so I'll just take him. And then I will get best player available. So on my list, let's see what we got here. So Sterling Shepard, I got lower than Christian Kirk. Do I have any guys in the first? Probably not. I got 3 solid running backs, 2 receivers. It's usually good to keep your team even, but let's look at running backs to see what we got. No one here that I couldn't expect to see in my next way back, so I'll go for receivers. I got Amari Cooper, Tyler Boyd, Kenny Galladay gone, Mike Williams, Ridley, Cooper Kupp's gone, Alshon, Anderson, and Pettis. Where's Mr. Pettis? Is he even a little ways down? There's Pettis. Let's see if I can take him before this thing freaks out on me. Oh, there it goes. Drafts a receiver for me. Sterling Shepard, that's fine. No big deal. I would have picked Pettis there if I had the time. Pettis would have been my first pick. After that would have been Christian Kirk, Will Fuller, Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry. So Will Fuller, Christian Kirk, or Pettis. I think about that. Christian Kirk might have been the guy I went for, which is pretty funny because that's who Snyder snatched. So it's kind of funny. After that, Christian Kirk, Prescott. I think Prescott's an underwhelming pick. I haven't had him in my rankings, but I do think he's really close to that low tier of quarterbacks that wouldn't mind taking. Sanders, I'm really enamored with. He had a pretty good preseason. There's Will Fuller. I liked him there as well. The reason why I didn't talk about him over Pettis and Christian Kirk is his injuries. Roethlisberger's solid. Tavius Murray is going to fill that mold of Mark Ingram, so it should be a solid pick, especially this late in the draft. Carolina receivers, still not excited about him. Matt Breida had a good end of the last year. Could get his job back if everything goes well for him. Green Bay receivers, wouldn't mind taking them, but they just weren't on my rankings list. As you can see here, all the autos we got. That's half a league, which is at this point is a lot less than normal. Probably because they're drafting tomorrow, early next week as well. So we'll add some Qs. I still would like to steal Pettis back if my buddy doesn't steal him on the way. James Washington, he's done a lot of good things in preseason. He could be solid as well. Running backs, there's going to be a lot of them. We got Jordan Howard. He's going to start the year as a running back. Darrell Henderson, Gurley goes down, could be a good pick. Not too sold on him. Tony Pollard, Ezekiel Elliott's team would want to steal him, but not if I can steal him first. Justin Jackson's not too bad. Justin Hill, same thing. These are shot in the darks. Carlos Hyde could win the job. Kareem Hunt, put him on your bench. Darwin Thompson could be a really good play. They have McCoy and Damien, but both of those guys, one's old. You don't know too much about Damien already, and Shady McCoy's obviously back into his career. Dustin just picked Kyler Murray. We were talking about him earlier. I think that's a good play. Don't know if we'll make our selections first. Let's look at some receivers. Still got QD, still got Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson's a solid play. He could be a breakout player. Don't need a quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is always healthy. So we'll pick a starting running back in Jordan Howard. And then we'll pick a solid backup that would surprise somebody. I think the best play would be Pollard, just because Ezekiel Elliott. Now let's go check out Dustin's team again. We were talking about Kyler Murray, so he might go back-to-back quarterbacks. Wouldn't surprise me at all. He's probably going to wait till later to pick Kirk Cousins or somebody. But he's got Gurley, Mixon, and Ingram, so Ingram and Mixon are both safe. Like I was saying, Ingram's my third-round running back, but still in my rankings, I have him all the way up to 23, so he got him in the third round, so to me that's a steal. Gurley, I like him in the second. He reached a little bit for him, but because he knew he could get Mixon, or at least Mixon and Cook, so he went a little risky there. I like the pick. Kyler Murray, it's a little scary pick, but we were talking to Anderson or Pollard was my pick. Where were we at here? Oh, back to his Diggs. Diggs, like I said, he came off a solid end of the season. It's a very good pick there. And Landry, like I said, I thought it was a little high for me to pick him there, but he could be a really good player, and I think the Browns are really going to air it out. He's the number 2 opposite of Odell, so he's used to getting number 1 cornerbacks, and now he's getting number 2, so could be really solid. Ingram is my third-ranked tight end, so getting him is amazing. Westbrook could be great. He was number 1 receiver in the Jags, and they got a decent quarterback now. Christian Kirk, I already told you I wanted him. Would have selected him probably, him or Pettis, if I didn't time out. And Henderson, we just talked about. Not too happy with him in preseason, but things have been looking up for him. Things will be looking up for him. Russell Wilson went top 12 quarterback. A little scared of him because of the lack of passing. Hooper in Atlanta. Not on my tight end radar, but a lot of good things about him. Jared Goff. Told you guys I'm not too excited about him, but even though I'm not, I still have him ranked as like my 7th or 8th quarterback. Sean Jackson, I was talking about looking at selecting him where I selected my running back. But I was trying to get a little youth and age. So I got a starter and I got a potential starter. So now at this point of the draft, it's all about either getting someone's backup or solidifying a position that you might think get hurt. So let's go to my team real quick. Aaron Rodgers, not much injury history. Connor, 2 games. Chubbs, nothing. Edelman, and he's got some injury history. Thielen, solid. Shepard has a little injury history. Probably should definitely look at a receiver in one of these 2 picks. Picks before this, we had Cutie go, Trubisky go, Jackson go. We were talking about Jackson. If you pick Lamar Jackson, you better pick another solid quarterback, just kind of like Kyler Murray. So I think Dustin will probably grab quarterback at some point in this draft. Bears defense here, this is a very good place to pick them. Cutie, like him a lot, but he's hurt. Trubisky, had him as my quarterback a while ago, the backup to Russell. I started him over Russell because he was on a run of good games, and then Russell started playing better than him. So Mitchell Trubisky could be a really good pick. Miller, not on my radar. Know about him. Jags defense solid. John Brown could be good with a strong arm of Josh Allen. Dustin picked Darwin Thompson. We were just talking about him. He's the 3rd running back technically on the draft, but I bet he's above McCoy and could end up being number 1. So I like that pick a lot. I really want a receiver, and then maybe grab a defense. And this is kind of the area, too, that I also like to take kicker. So there's a lot of defenses here I could draft. But I'm going to go ahead and draft Zerline. Like I told you the last time, getting a really solid kicker is really important. Defense here, there's a lot of defenses I still like. And kind of the Jags and Bears are my top 2, so if I can't get them, I just wait. So I'll take a receiver. I like DK Metcalf's upside. Now that they cut Jerron Brown, he might be playing a lot. Might be good to take him for his upside. Not really much else here, so I'll be a homer and draft DK Metcalf. He ended up being my 4th receiver. So on bye weeks, I got 11, so I got 10, 12, and 11, so I can rotate one of those in and out. So I won't need Metcalf. But if Metcalf turns into a stud, like a lot of people think, I could easily plug him in for Edelman. Thielen's going to be my rock unless he gets hurt, so I like that pick. Right after I picked Metcalf, he picked Nicole Hardman. It's a really good player. T.Y. or Hill went down or was looking to be suspended for the whole year. They drafted Hardman early. So Hardman looked really solid in the preseason, very explosive. I think he had a touchdown. So I think they'll still play him next to Tyreek Hill. And having 2 explosive receivers, and Hill's going to have to get double teamed just like always. So this guy could come in and be huge. We know how inconsistent Sammy Watkins is, so they could just go small receivers across the board. Bills' defense is good. Brady, is getting old. I wouldn't touch him. There's a lot of young options that can run the ball at quarterback. Receiver, Tennessee, not much about him, to be honest. Albert Wilson's had some solid upside in some seasons, never really panned out. Rams defense, you got to know my thoughts on them. Not too big on them, but they do have the best defensive player in the league. Eric Ebron, I think he is an underrated tight end. A little crazy on the touchdowns last year, so don't expect that again. But still, he alternates those 500 to 700 yard seasons back and forth. So he had an up season, so I expect him to have a little down season, especially since Andrew Luck is out. Saints D, I don't really have them targeted, but they've been going defense heavy lately, so they could have a really solid year. I believe they were top 12 last year, too. Eagles D is always good. Mark Andrews, Chargers D, I love them. Paul Richardson, I liked him out of Oregon State, but not trying to draft him. Sanu, Patriots D, Justin Tucker, there was the other kicker. There's tight end, Balaj, Gowski, and Schneider picked the Broncos D, which is one of my Ds I like to target, so he might have put me in a corner to have to pick one here. Still got Ravens, still have the Cowboys, still Colts and Browns are still pretty good, so I think I can wait. But then this point of the draft is kind of no point of flexing your muscles and trying to be sneaky. So I actually feel like the Browns are slightly better than the Cowboys, so I'll go with the Browns here. They're two good defensive ends, and Myles Garrett might be the best defensive end in the league. And I could select two defenses and just rotate games, which might be a good play if there's no one I like. There's really not running receivers here I'm interested in. Running backs, getting those backups is always good. Deion Lewis, if they run Derek into the ground, Gio if they run Mixon into the ground, Justin Jackson potential to start, Justin Hill same thing. Carlos Hyde's interesting. Not too fond of him, but also not too fond of Duke Johnson, so take a gamble here and let's get Carlos Hyde. Could be a steal. Got two draft spots, two left, so I might look at picking another running back, or Schneider picked Justin Hill, one of the running backs I was just talking about. Good pick. So I got 1, 2, 3 running backs, 4, 5, 6 running backs, a lot. I got 4 receivers, so I definitely need to grab another receiver. Don't like picking backup quarterbacks or tight ends. I'll just pick them up in the waiver wire. So I'll get a receiver, and then I think I'll take the other defense if the Cowboys are there. If the Cowboys aren't there, not too worried about it. Receivers available that I'd be interested in. Apparently at this point my rankings are pretty pointless, as no one's going to be there that I'm looking at. Our rankings are just the top 90 to 100. If someone's still there, that would be pretty impressive. John Ross is interesting. Quincy Nunez is interesting. David Moore, I mean, he's one of the only receivers left besides Tyler Lockett. He could stay on the field. They do like him. They wouldn't have shipped John Brown out if they didn't think he could play a little bit. He's the only one left that caught team. He actually went on a touchdown spree last year, like 6 touchdowns, I believe. So, I want to be a homer. I won't pick him. It's not like he's going to break out and be a super stud. So, John Ross or Quincy, I think they're both okay. Schneider's on the clock. He's probably going to get one of those young running backs, I'm assuming. Oh, yeah, he has to get his kicker still. Colts D is pretty interesting. Cowboys. Let's stick with the Cowboys. They got solid defensive ends. I bet you Dustin probably will go for the Colts. He has the Broncos already, but I haven't really seen him going to defenses. I'll get a receiver here to finish off my draft. I think that's the way to go. Not on the hunt punches. Colt Beasley could be a good play, but when you're at this point of the draft, you're kind of stretching. I think Marquise Lee's the spot here. Let's see much about Marquise. Marquise he was actually, I believe, from USC. Kind of went off the books for a while and looked like the best receiver there. Could get back to that form. You're picking your last pick. It's kind of a shot in the dark. So I hope everyone has good drafts and does well. I can go over my team really quick. See what you guys think. Dustin's team: Kyler Murray, Todd Gurley, Mixon, Diggs, Landry, Ingram, Broncos D, Roses. So everyone there's on my list. He drafted solid. Kyler Murray, I'm surprised he didn't. Oh, I did go Josh Allen last pick, like I was saying. Justice Hill, Thompson, Henderson, Hardman, Westbrook. So he kind of went for all the young guys up and coming, and a couple of running backs if guys got hurt. I think that's a solid strategy. Definitely give him an A-. If that was a solid draft. Gurley was a little stretch, I believe. Rodgers, love him. Connor Chubbs, getting those two late. Love it. Remember, they're my fifth and eighth ranked players. And so I got them at 12 and 13. Really happy with that. Backed it up. Got Thielen. I was going to draft him, not Edelman. And then was going to go Ertz. So Edelman instead of Ertz. Since I got Njoku, I'm happy with that because now I got two receivers I'm really confident in. So going two running backs, two receivers, and then getting your tight end and quarterback. I think that's a solid play. I believe I went Coleman before Rodgers. I think I went Coleman and Rodgers and then got Njoku. So Browns defense, Zerline. Remember I told you, try to steal him if you can. Shepard. Solid play, number one receiver. Jordan Howard starting running back. Pollard be starting running back. Metcalf's upside. Hyde's is hoping. And Cowboys defense gives me the ability to play defenses based on matchups. And Marquise Lee, he's had a good future. So here we go. That's mock draft over. Fantasy Footballaholics out, and good luck in your mock drafts.